Hey, good afternoon, friends. Today is Sunday, August the 4th, 2024, and the time now is 5:58 p.m. So, I want to talk about three or four major things or topics, and these basically relating to what is happening in the United States, the current election events. Okay, the US is currently in an election season. So I want to talk about Kamala Harris, JD Vance, Donald Trump, and the election poll. Now, in terms of the election poll, I'm not going to give you data or numbers. I'm not going to give you none of those because things are just fluctuating, things are just changing. I don't know what to believe out there. But in terms of the three candidates, Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, and JD Vance, the situation for them continue to get very interesting, very intense, very disgusting, and very suspicious. Now, in terms of Kamala Harris, let me stress one thing first. Once again, today is Sunday, August the 4th, 2024, and it is expected that Kamala Harris is supposed to be telling the people, basically showing her nomination for vice president today. So people all over the US, okay, Democrats, the news, they are waiting for Kamala Harris to disclose who is going to be her running mate as a vice presidential candidate for the upcoming election. Now, I haven't seen any news out there. Perhaps she had already done it and I don't know. And once I find out, I'm going to make an update. But now for Kamala Harris, she has been having two outstanding weeks in terms of the fact that she was able to raise about $300 million for her campaign. That is in addition to the fact that she's expected to be getting the amount raised by Joe Biden when Joe Biden was the nominee for the presidential election, okay, for the Democratic ticket. But in terms of the money raised, as much as Republicans are pissed off and Democrats are happy, it does beg the question or comment. Why spend all that money just for election? Why isn't that the United States doesn't remove itself from money in election? I do feel like if the United States change the system so that money is not spent on election, the people will ultimately get the final say so, and they're going to win their country back. In terms of money, as much as the people of America go out there and vote, those money boys or girls, those institutions or companies, industries that spend money on the candidates basically gets the say so. They basically get the influence in or on the government. While for the people, it seems like their only job is symbolic job, symbolism, going out and voting. It seems the American people have no say or no say so in the government. But again, whether you like it or hate it, that is what it is. It is the American system. But in terms of Kamala Harris, she's been doing an amazing job and having an amazing week or amazing 2 weeks. One being that she had raised about $300 million. She immediately was welcome and she continues to get tremendous support from Democrats throughout the country. It is said that she had basically gotten enough delegates to win the election. In addition, when Kamala Harris was immediately announced to be the front runner for the Democratic ticket after Joe Biden stepped down and endorses her, people immediately, Democrats, got very excited and they all jumped on the bandwagon. First, you have the Zoom call with black women, which saw about 40,000 or so black women joining the Zoom call in support of Kamala Harris. In addition, you have white women for Kamala Harris, white dude for Kamala Harris, Latino for Kamala Harris, I think South Asians also, or Southeast Asians for Kamala Harris. So far, the various ethnic or financial or regional groups out there are joining or having Zoom calls in support of Kamala Harris. And that is driving Republicans nuts. I saw a Fox News program where the host and the folks who were invited to the program, they are going nuts. They hated the fact that white dudes are having Zoom calls in support of Kamala Harris, and also white women are doing the same. Perhaps these calls and the people who are involved are doing it because they want to support Kamala Harris free and fairly, or there are those who are saying it is guilty action. In terms of white women, perhaps it could be the case because white women are said to have voted wrongly over the past, in various elections, basically voting for the candidates, screwing over everyone. I don't know. So Kamala Harris continues to have tremendous week or 2 weeks. In terms of the support, yes. But then she is facing very strong and disgusting reality of racism in the United States. As coming from MAGA supporters, groups, institutions, and Republicans. Whether we are talking about Republican officials, regular Republicans, or even Republicans outlets such as Fox News and the like. So Kamala Harris started the past 2 weeks amazing. First, I did make a video during the first week when Joe Biden dropped out of the race. And I stated that Barack Obama, perhaps it is a strategy that Obama doesn't endorse Kamala Harris until during the convention, the Democratic National Convention, and Obama might come in there and give a rousing speech and then endorsing her formally. But that is not the case because Barack Obama endorsed Kamala Harris last week. So Obama has officially endorsed Kamala Harris. However, as much as the Democrats continue to celebrate Kamala Harris, and there are many Democrats who are saying Kamala Harris needs to go hard at the Republicans and that the Democrats should go hard at the Republicans and that the Democrat should not shy away from going all out on them. As much as the Democrats are excited, the Republicans are bombarding Kamala Harris with insults and racism. They are calling her the DEI candidate, which somebody did say that calling Kamala Harris and other black people DEI or DEI this or DEI that is basically a substitution for the N-word because many whites cannot say the N-word right now. And basically, they cannot issue or make statements of insults in the manner that they did in the past. So DEI is much safer than calling Kamala Harris or other black people the N-word. But it has come to the point where some Republicans, prominent Republican leaders, are basically telling the Republicans, whether we are talking about regular Republicans, MAGA, those on Fox News, those Republicans who are officials in the government, they are telling them to stop, to tone it down. Because the racism against Kamala Harris, the disgusting remarks that they are making against her, is basically turning lots of people off in the US. And it seems to be making lots of people to join the Kamala Harris or the Democratic bandwagon. Especially given that many Republicans are already pissed off at Donald Trump anyway. And many are coming out vocally criticizing the heck out of Donald Trump and justifying why they are not going to vote for him this year in this election. So there are people who even going as far as saying that Kamala Harris got to where she is at because she was involving with this guy or doing this or doing that. It is disgusting. I remember I did have a conversation with a young fellow who basically echoes such sentiment. In the US, there are those who go on Fox News or go on this news or that news, and they basically just regurgitate, okay? They internalize and regurgitate whatever nonsense they hear. They are not spending the time to analyze statements and information out there, to see information for what they are, and they just regurgitate them. So that is basically what is happening so far. Honestly, I do feel as if Kamala Harris should not get herself engaged or involved in the name calling and insult. What she has to do to win this election is to stay on point, stay on topic, but challenge Donald Trump and the Republicans on whatever information out there or whatever topic, questions with substance. Let Donald Trump and the Republicans, the MAGA folks, let them call names. Let them make insults because it is going to piss off a lot of people. As much as the insults that Donald Trump and the Republicans and MAGA are throwing at the Democrats and at Kamala Harris, as much as such statements, such insults makes them look good in the eyes of the MAGA and Republican supporters, I do feel as if it is also turning off lots of people, especially independent folks out there. I know recently tape came out of the Republican vice presidential candidate, J.D. Vance, stating that the country is run by a bunch of cat women without children. And folks tried to question him several times on that, and he doubled and tripled down on his statement. And it turns out that J.D. Vance did not only make such statement once, he had made such statements several times, which basically indicate that he strongly believed in such statement. Okay? This is why I do feel that Kamala Harris should not get involved in the name calling. She should just challenge the Republicans, Donald Trump, J.D. Vance on substance, period. Because the Republicans are going at Kamala Harris in a racialized manner, in which that they are not only exposing themselves, but they are being harmful to themselves. I remember when J.D. Vance was basically nominated by Trump as the second on the ticket, as the vice presidential candidate. Many white supremacists out there and many in the MAGA Republican groups, they basically grilled the heck out of him because his wife is an Indian woman. It's crazy. It is crazy. It is very disgusting that you claim this guy is your Republican vice presidential nominee, but then you are going harshly at him because his wife is an Indian or of Indian descent. And they are doing the same thing to Kamala Harris. Now, they are stressing that she is not black, she is Indian. Basically, trying to say that black people should not vote for Kamala Harris because she is not black. That is so racist, okay? Because what they seem to be doing is to denying her authentic blackness, which in itself saying, don't vote for her because she's Indian, she's not black. So once again, I must repeat what the Republicans are doing by trying to delegitimize Kamala Harris, trying to say that she is not a black person. It's going to backfire. But it is also laughable because for the many centuries, especially with the one-drop rule, where a black person can have a white mother or a white father, as long as there is one drop of black blood, that person is black. It is laughable by now trying to say that Kamala Harris is not black. But they are doing this because I do feel like they do believe that black people in America are stupid. Okay, this basically echoes the discontent and the hatred, dislike of black people and what they feel or think of black people in America. By trying to delegitimize Kamala Harris and saying that she's not black or black person, it does also point to the fact that they do think of black people in a very significant, very different, but disgusting ways. They do view black people in a stereotypical term, which to them, Kamala Harris doesn't fit the stereotype. So thinking that black people are stupid enough to disown her because she is not the stereotypical black Americans. That image, the visual image of what a black American person is, should look like, should act like. They feel that it is going to work. But I think it is going to backfire because the same thing happened with Obama. They tried to delegitimize Barack Obama or tried to deny his blackness. As much as some black people were on the fence, everyone came together and galvanized around Barack Obama, and he won the election. That I do believe is going to be the same for Kamala Harris. But when you are saying that she is not black or black person, you trying to push her away, thinking that black people should not vote for her because she is Indian. That also shows racism on the part of the Republicans, which is basically saying, based on the Republicans' action and what they are saying, that a black person should not vote for an Indian person or for a person because that person is of Indian descent. This is what the Republicans are basically, whether intentionally or unintentionally, alluding to. But I do feel that it should and could get a lot of Indian people or South Asian people disgusted and basically removing them or removing themselves from the Republican camp. So as much as the racism against Kamala Harris could galvanize Republicans and MAGA supporters, there is a tendency or likelihood that such racism could backfire in that it's going to enable or motivate independents and others to basically remove themselves from the Republican camp or from the Donald Trump camp. So that's it. Now, in terms of J.D. Vance, too many things are coming out about him, about his past. I know for last week, the statements that the United States is run by a bunch of cat ladies without kids seem to get lots of the attention. There are things out there where people are, I think, researching couch. Apparently he had something for couch or whatever. I don't know. But it is at the point where they are calling him weird. And in fact, the Democrats are using the word weird a lot, basically calling Republicans weird. And I do feel to an extent they are overdoing it. They need to backtrack and use other words or phrases and also stick to substance. Stick to the topic of the economy or economics and social issue and whatever is happening in America. Yes, the whole idea of the Republicans and J.D. Vance and Donald Trump being weird is working. I feel like the Democrats on the periphery should be the ones to throw such insult. But those high-ranking Democrats, those who are running, like the Kamala Harris and the vice presidential nominee, must stay on topic, must make themselves appear to not get engaged or involved in the nonsense of name calling, and let the Republicans do the name calling and insult and basically disgracing themselves. So for J.D. Vance, he had had a terrible week, or at least two terrible weeks, since he became the vice presidential nominee for the Republican ticket. Donald Trump, there are those in America who are saying that Trump is freaking out and that he's having a terrible week or has had a terrible 2 weeks. It seems to be the case because he is misbehaving all over the place. He is throwing tantrum. Perhaps the Democrats are doing the right thing by cornering Donald Trump, okay, basically fighting him in the way that he often fight others, okay? And I don't know how much it is working, but it seems to be working. But Democrats should also try to strategize to not stick to the law as the Republicans seem to be doing. Donald Trump, like his vice presidential pick, JD Vance, has had 2 terrible weeks. And yes, we can agree that he had a welcoming moment during the Republican National Convention. Speakers came in there and also attendants came there and basically glorified Donald Trump. And it was a fanfare for Donald Trump. Of course, there are many who can argue that there were lots of things during the Republican National Convention that basically were just odd. One pertains to Hulk Hogan basically ripping up his shirt, and as if he spoke as if he was at a WWE event or as if he was engaging in a match with some other prominent WWE superstars. But it was very interesting. But in terms of Donald Trump, he had been throwing tantrum over the whole Kamala Harris thing. He basically had declined debating Kamala Harris. Of course, yesterday there were informations coming out that he has agreed to debate Kamala Harris on certain condition. But in addition to that, he had been having difficult weeks. And last week, there was an event which he attended, and it is the NABJ event, or the National Association for Black Journalists event, where he was asked a question. Yes, it was a tough question. You have been saying a whole lot of things about Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, and other black officials or black people, calling them names. Based on that, now you attend this event. Why should black people trust you? And I am paraphrasing here. He started by saying that the questions or the question was just rude and that he should have been welcome. Welcome, how are you doing? Basically, he should have been greeted. And the question or questions were not menacing. They were not insulting. Yes, they were challenging. They were tough questions. But Donald Trump, instead of him answering the question, he decided to basically throw fit, okay? Throw tantrum and just throw stones. Basically just throw stones. And it is interesting that there were people who attending the event who were basically laughing and clapping for him. What he demonstrated at the event, for MAGA supporters, Trump solidified himself with them. He made himself look good because what he did is what MAGA supporters want to see, or like to hear. However, I am not sure whether he gained any independent voters with that, because he basically threw tantrum. He became much more racist to the point where he even talked about Kamala Harris's Indian heritage, saying that she was Indian, and then all of a sudden, now that she is running for president, she became black. It was disgusting, honestly. And I do ask myself, why did they actually invited him. They should not have invited him because he threw tantrum and he insulted the people. I do feel like they should not have invited Donald Trump, but then looking at it, on the other side, it seems it was a strategy, whether unintendedly or intendedly, because Trump basically made a fool of himself. Of course, he also benefited because he appeared to look strong to Republican voters. I don't know what you think, but I want to hear what you think, and I'm going to end here, my friends. Please tell me what you think. Please join the conversation. But thank you very much for being a member of the Echoing Voice community, and thank you very much for watching the Echoing Voice. Peace.